Hey there everyone. So I am a procrastinator and I need to get a couple Christmas cards done. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick and simple Christmas card. And I was digging through like my Christmas stuff and I actually found like these really cheap. They're like super flimsy Christmas cards from like the Dollar Tree, or like, yeah, I think you will call it like a pound shop if you're in the UK. So what I'm going to do is I am going to alter these so that it looks like a handmade card, but definitely more upscale than this cheap flimsy card. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to cut it down to the size of like a 4x6 photo. So I'm just going to cut it at 4 inches and then cut it again at 6 inches. And then also, instead of me having to stamp a sentiment, because this is super easy card, it already has one on the inside. So I'm going to cut that at 4 1/4 and then take like an extra 1/4 of an inch to make it also a 4x6 card. So 1/4 off of that side, 1/4 off of that side, so it's 4 inches. And then I'm going to take this to 6 1/4 and then another 6. All right, so these are 4x6s. What I'm going to do next is something super simple. I'm actually going to take some double-sided adhesive and I'm just going to lay it over top of the card because I'm going to actually glitter this. So I'm just going to lay it over the card, rub it down. I'm using my mat so that the adhesive doesn't stick, and then just go through with my scissors and just trim it off even with the card. I like to use like a Teflon coated scissors so that nothing sticks to it. And then also trim this down to the card size as well. So now I have that with the double-sided adhesive on it. And then I'm just going to take my, I have a Teflon bone folder. You could use any bone folder. And I'm just going to really push that down so it has a nice adherence to the photograph that's there. Now you could also do this with photos. It's not necessary to just use a, a card, but like I said, to get like a whole box of like these cards that are like super cheap, it doesn't take, much money, and then you can make a super fast card. So now that that's adhered, I'm actually going to grab my glitter tray. This is just like a shoebox. I keep Swiffers in it, and then I also keep a couple of coffee filters. So what I have here is, this is just like a microfine glitter. This one happens to be Elizabeth Crafts in the Cool Diamond. I like the Cool Diamond when it comes to like using blues, because it actually, I don't know if you could see it, has like shades of blues and greens in it. And then what I'm going to do is just grab this photograph or card, whichever you're using, and I'm going to peel this back, but I don't want to actually touch the adhesive. So I'm just going to hold on to it, kind of making like a handle for it. And I know it's going to look like I'm going to use a lot of glitter, but it is really not. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on here and then knock it down the card. Again, putting it into my coffee filter here. Now that there's glitter here, I can actually move this back, put my hand on it, and do the same thing. Just cover that with the glitter. Put the excess in there. And then because I used a coffee filter and it's paper, there's like no static to it. And I can actually just take and pour this right back into my jar. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot of the glitter. The microfine glitter is great because you don't get that rough texture when you push it down into the adhesive. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my finger and I'm really going to push this down. Now I know some people have they don't like using their finger for the glitter. So what you could also do is just take your piece of release paper that you had and you can actually go over it with your bone folder to get that glitter right down into the cardstock. Like with the adhesive on it. So you can do it that way, or you can just use your finger to burnish it down. And as you see, it really gets a nice glittery shine to it as you take and put the glitter in. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then I just have like a piece of an extra Swiffer. If there was any loose glitter, I can just wipe that up and I can wipe off any excess that's on my card. So now you can see like how shiny and glittery this is, and it didn't take any effort at all. Hi everyone. So then what I'm going to do is, now that I have this, again this is a 4x6, I'm going to grab some pieces of cardstock. This one happens to be, I think, let's see here, 6 1/4. And I can do that this way, or I can do this one, which is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Now, because it's got the blue, you really can't see it, so it would be better if I took and I backed it with another piece of cardstock. So here is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I'm just going to layer those together. So you've got a nice frame, you've got the breakup between the colors so it doesn't all run together. So just, I'm going to grab my ATG. You can use any type of adhesive that you want. And then I'm just going to line that up onto the white, leaving a little bit of a border all around it. Grab the other piece, the one that's 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Again, taking and putting that on there, lining that up quickly. And then this is a piece that is the 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I'm going to take that inside piece that I had cut from that cheap card and line that up. Since it's white on blue, you don't need anything to like really put a border on it. So there we go. So we've got those two pieces. And then I have a piece of cardstock here. It is like 10 by 7. And then I'm just going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to score this at 5 inches. So I'm going to have a 5 by 7 card. It's a nice standard size. Take that, fold it in half, and then use my Teflon bone folder to really get that creased. And then I can use my ATG, again putting adhesive on it. Line that up, leaving a bit of a border all the way around it. Same thing with this inside piece. And place that on the inside. And there you go. Now see, I make mistakes sometimes too. I put that on the wrong side. So I'm going to actually just take that, place that in there, And because I made a mistake, I'm just going to use my adhesive eraser, and I can take off that extra adhesive. That's the good thing about having a dry one, because I can just really like pull that up. But as you can see, this was taking like maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. You can do a whole bunch of these, and then you have the inside done. So I'm going to show you the other way to do it. So say you don't have any like bright colored cardstock. You could also take, we're going to do the same thing. This one already has the glitter on it, because you can, or the adhesive on it. So you can actually just go through, put a whole bunch on with the adhesive, and then go back and glitter it all at one time. So I'm just going to go through, add the glitter, tap it off. And yes, I forgot to leave a little bit of an edge so that I did not get a whole bunch of fingerprints on the adhesive. And then so I'm going to tap off the excess. You can also use a brush to brush off any excess that you have going on there. Take my glitter, pour it back into the jar so I don't accidentally spill it, because I'm one of those messy crafters that will, you know, take and spill stuff everywhere. Set this aside. Again, go in with my finger and burnish that, like pushing the glitter into the adhesive really well. Any leftover glitter, just use my Swiffer to get that up, making sure that there's no excess on there. Now, what I have here is another piece of the cardstock that is 6.5 by 4.5. There's some glitter. And then I have some distress ink. You can use any ink here. This one happens to be Stormy Sky. And I'm actually just going to go direct to paper around the sides of this. I don't have to cover the whole thing because you're not going to see the whole thing. So a little bit of direct to paper. If I want to, I can go in with my blending tool just to soften up that edge, making sure that I haven't missed any. And it doesn't matter like if you have like it's not even or anything like that. I'm also going to do the same thing with the piece that is 4.25 by 6.25. So again, just go through. You can, if you do it with just the ink blending tool, you get like a lighter. So I want it a little bit darker for this. So again, I'm going to go in with the direct to paper just around the edges. Nothing spectacular, doesn't have to be completely even or anything like that. And again, that's the good thing about this, because I'm looking at a quick, simple card because I'm a procrastinator and I need to get these done. So, hey there. So we have that, and then I'm just going to go through. I have a baby wipe here that will just get this excess off right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier. So I'm going to take the card, I'm going to mat it, onto the piece of white. And then I'm going to take and mat that onto the piece of blue that was 6.5 by 4.5. And the reason I chose these measurements is because you can print a photograph and do the same thing. Many times the photographs just come in a 4x6, so I thought it was easier just to stick to the 4x6 size. And then I've got a piece of that inside card that already has the sentiment, so I don't have to think about a sentiment or adding a sentiment inside if I don't want to. Again, we're going to go ahead and layer that down. And then do the same with my piece of cardstock that is 10 by 7. I'm going to go ahead and score that at 5 inches. Set that to the side. And place that down. We're going to go ahead and add our adhesive. Place this on the front. Place this on the inside. And there you go. So 2 quick, simple, easy cards. I think it took me maybe 10-15 minutes to do it. Oh yeah, this the ATG. I love my ATG. I've had it for a long time. Many of my friends have the same one, so whenever I go crafting, which obviously is not happening right now due to COVID, but I have it like decorated so with my name on it, so I know which one's mine and we don't mix them up. So again, these are 2 very simple, easy cards. Like I said, it took me maybe 15 minutes at the max. Yeah, these are just the cards that I was making, just these. Like I said, it was something just to show you last minute, easy cards, doesn't take a whole lot of effort to do. If you wanted to bump it up another notch, I actually have this die here. It's just a simple Merry Christmas die. And I have cut that out of, I don't know if you can see the sheen to it, but it is like a pearlescent cardstock. And also a white card. I wanted to have a little bit more depth to it. So for these type of dies, I actually like to use like a fine line or fine tip bottle, and I will go ahead and add adhesive to it. This being a fine tip really makes it easy to get into those spots and not have to worry about a whole bunch of adhesive. And then I like to take a pair of tweezers and hold that down and just kind of line it up. You know, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to line these up. Just making this a bit more substantial and raised. So we've got that there. I'm going to hold this with my tweezers. Again, going in with my fine tip bottle, adding some adhesive to it. And then I can just add my Merry Christmas to it. So again, if I wanted to take it up a notch, obviously you didn't even need to do that. It's beautiful just as it is. With it being inside of our burnish down into the adhesive, when you send it to someone, they're not going to open it up and have like a glitter bomb in the envelope. But this is it. Super simple, super easy, super quick. Just wanted to give you some last minute card ideas, especially if it's like difficult to find cards, but you see like they're, like I said, at like the dollar store. I got these at the Dollar Tree, 99-cent store, pound shops, any of those type of things that have like these really super easy, cheap cards that that we really as card makers wouldn't want to send to anybody because they're super flimsy. We want it to be more substantial because we all know that people want to like stand them up and display them. When they're like this, they tend to fall over or just blow over with a little bit of a breath. So that's it. Hopefully this gave you some ideas, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.